5 years after the mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub, Orlando Police Deputy Chief James Young joined other officers to speak publicly about the massacre and the 3-hour-long police response. During the 5-year event, Young stated that he began texting a layout of the building that he hand-drew to the officers and commanders that he knew were on scene.
Being familiar with the club, I began texting officers who I knew were already on scene and some of the commanders on scene a layout of the club from memory of working there many years off duty.
When Young made this statement, we knew that this contradicted what the records showed. This was at a time when we published the public records that showed responding officers had no access to the nightclub's layout, contributing to the chaos as law enforcement tried to navigate the building.
We got 3 up there right now. We got Faith, Evangelista, and Orange County up there.
This included one officer being forced to draw the layout on a piece of paper that was wet with his own sweat, using information being dictated to him by a traumatized employee.
There's a manager of Pulse, and he's in communication with employees who are still inside. Okay. They're like, all right, we'll find out where they are. And, all we would get is dressing room. Where's the dressing room? And, over the radio and over the phone that the comm center is talking, they can never straighten out, a good explanation about where this dressing room is. And it turns out it's the, the northwest corner of this building. And I'm not sure how accurate this diagram is because I believe there's actually 2 rooms.
Oh, the dressing room is split into 2?
Yes, because, and that's what we were being told by the manager. He goes, there's a large dressing room and a small dressing room.
Okay.
So we're like, all right. So with that portion of it, we actually got our hands on the manager. Mm-hmm. And we brought him here and from Esther out here, we're like, look through those double doors and tell us where the dressing room is. And he said, all the way back to this stage and to the left.
All right.
Okay. So now we know we have people back there too.
We're trying to figure it out now with the manager. No, as long as we keep the manager as well, that'll be better intel for us for the layout of this thing.
He also searched for fire escape plans when he entered the building, only to come out empty-handed. As a result, law enforcement had difficulty locating victims who remained trapped inside the nightclub. The SWAT team even blew a hole in the nightclub's western wall in the wrong spot in their final effort to extract the remaining victims from the nightclub's bathrooms.
So we knocked out a rectangle right there where the breach was initially placed on the wall, and as soon as we knocked it out, I think the truck hit it twice, and it all fell away. And then we were like, "Shit! It's actually at the dead end of the hallway."
Okay.
So we knew we weren't in the south bathroom because that opened up. We could see this closed door. So we knew that was a north bathroom, and we were all over here to the south a little bit. So we're looking in, and we're like, we're not on the right spot.
All right.
So at that point, the decision was made to immediately move to the south, and we knew the truck could handle the wall on its own.
So we submitted a public records request for all text messages sent by James Young on June 12, 2016. There were no responsive records. In other words, there was no evidence that he sent any text messages to anyone in the Orlando Police Department the entire day, let alone during the early morning police response. This is important because the nightclub was riddled with unpermitted renovations and code violations that hindered escape and rescue. There were no accurate building plans on record. The layout of the Pulse nightclub that the city eventually released to the media were also unpermitted, although the city never mentioned it to the public. They were not in the city's official system, but in an employee's inbox from a 2010 meeting when the city met with the nightclub's co-owner, Rosario Poma, to discuss violations at his business. Why would James Young lie? That year, in 2021, he was brought in by the nightclub's other co-owner, Barbara Poma, to speak at the remembrance ceremony put on by her now dissolved and disgraced nonprofit, the One Pulse Foundation.
When I think of strength, I not only think about the physical trait, but the examples of strength which define all of us. such as trustworthiness, respectfulness, determination, dedication, and honesty. These characteristics, which we know are within all of us, were demonstrated that night by our brave first responders.
Was this lie a favor to benefit the city and the Pomas, who also employed James Young? We don't know, but we do know what is documented in public records, and that is that there were no text messages sent by Deputy Chief James Young during the Pulse response.